Greetings, sir. My name is Kemoneilwe Mukhari. My ST number is 10487625, and this is my food recommender app as well as my code explanations. This is my activity main, which will code for my user interface, which displays the app. In my app, I've used a linear layout with the vertical orientation, and I've centered the gravity. My layout width and height is a match parent, and I've added a drawable background. The title of my app is displayed in a text view, and the text size of my title is 20 dp and the style is bold. The user input, which entails a hint, please enter meal, is displayed in an edit text that is displayed in the color black, and the layout width and height is also match parent. Next, I opened another linear layout in order to display my buttons next to each other, one being the submit button and the other being the clear button. And then I closed that specific linear layout as I only wanted it for my two buttons. Next, I added a text view which will display the output of the specific meal that the user would like. And at the end of my interface, I added a button, which is an exit button, and I closed my linear layout, and I will soon display the user interface just to get an understanding of what it looks like. This is what my user interface looks like, with the title being the text view, next being the edit text, and my two buttons displayed besides each other using another linear layout, my output, and the exit button. First, I used a visibility modifier, which is the private visibility modifier. If the visibility modifier isn't added, it is going to be public by default, meaning that my declarations will be visible everywhere. Whereas if it's private, then it will only be visible inside the file that contains these declarations. The late init variable makes nullability in Kotlin easier, as you don't have to use nullable variables and null checks. Upon entering my codes for my button IDs, I received an error which I perceive as not being inflated, hence why I received a suggestion to suppress lint, which automatically solved my error, meaning that my ID might not have been inflated properly. Next, I just assigned my private late init variables to their IDs just to match the variables with my IDs. I proceeded to add a set on click listener for my submit button, which performs the logic, which means when you click submit, there should be an action that is performed. That's what set on click listener should do. I then added a trim lowercase to automatically change any uppercase letters entered to lowercase. I then added a if statement to display an error whenever the user does not input a meal. Then added two other set on click listeners for my exit and my clear buttons, which once again are supposed to perform the logic of the buttons, which means clear or exit or escape rather. I then added an isNotEmpty private function so that if the user does not enter anything and presses submit, an error can be displayed. Line 87 just acts as a placeholder if you have not finished your code. So after you have finished that specific private function, you can remove the return to do and your app will still work. The toString expression will turn the object into a string representation, and trim will trim any white space from the string, and isEmpty checks the results of the trimming. I then created another private function for the user input whenever the user inputs any meal that they would like. When I used the normal when statement, I did receive an error as a return expression was required, and that's why it's there. Now I will be opening BlueStacks and run for BlueStacks to run my app. And after the Gradle has finished building, then I will start.